What is good, Counter-Strike fans? Welcome back to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today, we're going to be talking about ESL Pro League Season 22, the first stage. And before we get started, we always take a look back at how we did in the previous event. And unfortunately, did pretty poorly. This was Fisher Playground 2, the playoffs. Decided to back Falcons, decided to back Aurora with Centaurus, and then Mongols. Falcons disappointment. Um, Aurora also disappointed. They lost against Team Liquid in the first round, so that was kind of unfortunate there. And then even though I had someone in the finals with Techno, he just didn't perform at all. At least I got 2 points out of it, but the quicker we move on, the better. The best players for this event were definitely Furia and Mongols. At least I had Nico up there, so that's good. But otherwise, yeah, if you had a Furia stack alongside with like Techno, with Mongols, with Messinho and Sensu, and Naf as a fifth, you probably done quite good here. So just some quick news for EPL Pro League Season 22. There are a couple drops that occurred over the past few days. So Limbinshun had to be replaced by Genomates. So Genomates is the roster that was formerly known as Iberian Soul, and before then Movistar Riders. And then Virtus Pro earlier today had to drop for ends. So 2 teams have been dropped. I mean, Limbishin had a good chance of making it, and it has some good value players as well. And Virtus Pro, I didn't have high expectations for this event, but now that they're gone, you have 2 new teams that could change how things look. As well, Maka will not be playing for a few games for 3D Max, and Nigeria will be coming in after Opera. We know that Maka dropped in-game duties for Gravity, so at least they'll have an IGL there, but a new Opera as well. So this is how stage 1 looks, and this is the seeding. Just some quick things. I mean, G2 and Furia have to be favorites to go 3-0. I will also throw in Astralis as a team that should get through no matter what. Gamer Legion should also get through as well as 3D Max, even though they don't have Maka. They should still have enough within them to make it to the next stage. So I would say this core 5 are very strong. I also believe that M80 should make it. I think they've been performing really well. So definitely one to take a look at if you like. And then Heroic also have a chance. I mean, once you get past this top 5, you kind of get into a little bit of a battle between these next few candidates. For sure, I don't see Rooster making it. I don't see Hatu making it as well. I don't think those 2 will make it. I don't think Flux will either. Inner Circle Sports for TNL, I don't feel too confident about them either, so I'm not gonna have them making it. So I would say these bottom 4 will probably not make it, and it would be between NRG and upwards. But yeah, your dark horses, in my opinion, are Bait, NRG, and yeah, those 2 I would say are kind of dark horses. And your top 5 should be pretty steady as well. So now we can take a look at stage 1 for ESL Pro League, the most picked players, and you can see that it is very Furia heavy. So Jakindar following Maldoy, with Jakindar having almost 44% percentage pick alongside Fallen, so that seems to be a pretty popular combo. Hunter as the only G2 representation, Hooksy Magisk from Astralis, Lukoisi, who is the cheapest player in this event, and then CTR for Gamer Legion. And now we can talk about the players individually. So we'll start off with Furia. The prices for Furia are a little bit high. I would definitely say avoid Yuri. Yuri, while he had a great performance in Playground, he hasn't shown the highest that he had in that event. But at 215, that's a little bit much. I'd rather spend up to get Caserado or Malzoy, but even then, those two are very, very expensive. And even though Furia should get 3-0, I don't know how likely they will farm that crazy. For sure, if I had to go Furia double up, has to be Fallen, Jakindar, best value for money. If you want to spend up to one of the golds, I would say go for Molodoi. I think Molodoi is a solid option. For G2, again, same issue as Furia. I mean, there are two favorites to go 3-0. Here, however, I say avoid Heavy God. 228 is too much, especially for someone that doesn't take over as much as Caserado and Molodoi. I will also avoid some Pius at 216. He just hasn't shown it consistently enough for me to pay that much. I quite like Hunter at 205. He can get his rating pretty high, as well as Matty S. I think Matty S has been G2's most consistent player ever since he's arrived. Even more consistent than Heavy Gone recently. And he has really high upside. Malbs as well, but he's let me down many times now, especially in the last event. He just didn't perform. So I don't know if I can trust him, but he has amazing headshot rating roll. So if you want to save a little bit of cash and you want to double up on G2, definitely go with Mouse. For 3D Max, now that Maka's not here, I would not go Nigeria. I don't know how long Maka will be out. He has personal commitments. I think his brother's wedding, so he might miss 1 or 2 games and then he'd be back. But I just wouldn't spend up Nigeria. I wouldn't spend up Unlucky, and I wouldn't spend on Exercise. Body is pretty good value at 205. He has been 3D's Max second best player for a while now, so he's pretty good there. And then Gravity as well at 199. He's fine, nothing amazing, but if you want to double up, I think you have to go with Body and Gravity. For Astralis, ever since Stav hasn't been there, Stair's been stepping up to be the person, so I think Stair's a great option for this event. Last event you saw that he popped off, so I really like him at 208. And then you have the consistency of device as well at 212. He can perform like a gold, but he's silver price, so there's that. I wouldn't go Magisk. I think he's past it as a player, and he showed it in the last event too. He just didn't perform. Hooksy as well. He's not bad, but he's not great. And then Javi, I'd rather just either spend up for device or even spend down on Stair. So if you want to double up, device and Stair for sure, the core for this team. For Gamer Legion, they got a little Kersey, now they brought in Hypex, so maybe an upgrade there. Res and PR, I think they're a little bit high. If I had to pick one, I would just go PR to save 3,000. But if you can't find anything to do with that, then just go Res, just for more consistency. But again, the best value for money player is Tossin. He's performing at a really high rate, and he also has some amazing rolls in certain maps. So at 197, he's definitely one to look into. If you want to pair him up with someone, I'll take the chance on Hypex. I think at 204, why not? We'll see if he can finally perform. I would not go CTR, however. He just never has good ratings. For Heroic, I don't know if I trust this roster. Ever since they lost Tenier, Pius, and Saw as their coach, it just hasn't looked the same. If you had to go here, I think Xflower at 201 is definitely an option. And then pair him up with Youngstar maybe. Or if you want to back Alcaran to do something, but he's just more of a support opera that just doesn't really put up ratings. Would not go Nilo and would not go LNC. For Legacy, it has to be, well, if you want to spend up on here, it has to be Lotto. He's just been super consistent. He's been their best player for a while. Dumao's not bad either, but sometimes he doesn't perform to his best. And if you want to go cheaper, I think Assassin is pretty okay. And then pair him up with Nissim or Lux if you want to spend up a little bit more. Legacy is just fine. It's a fine team. They bombed out last event, so it's nothing too crazy. For M80, this is where some value is at. I think Lake is amazing value 202. He has the upside to be a game-breaking player, especially if M80 do make it, because he just puts up good ratings. I think as well, Switcher is pretty good value as well. I think they both have amazing roles as well. Switcher has Lake has entry fragger, and Switcher has the SMG one, the SMG role. I forget what it's called. But yeah, those two will be my favorites from here. Sin, I add Boyd, and then if Hex and Slacks, if you believe in them, sure, go ahead. For bait as well, they've been better. They still kind of like a team where all of them kind of contribute, and there's not a clear number one. But if you have to go here, if you want to double up, Nipple or MPL, he's definitely the choice. He's been the most consistent player for them, and the best player. And then I'll pair him up with Essential. Actually not Essential, but Essential's fine. But I will pair him up with Kensisor. He had a great event. I forgot what the event was, but he had a good event last time, and I like him at that price. But yeah, I think I'll find our decent options, but you just gotta pick your poison, honestly, with this team. For Genomates, it's gonna be interesting. They had to drop out of another event and forfeit. I think they were in the semifinals for that to come to this event, so they definitely have to perform here in order to make it to the major, especially with how the major works now in the system, PRS system. Martinez is a great option at 206. He's super consistent, the best player by far and away. I had to pair him up with someone, probably Malpos. Just go high and low with Genomates, but honestly, I don't know. I don't feel too strong about the Spanish squad. For ends, again, I don't feel too great about them. If I had to go here, it's probably SDY. Actually, SDY is too expensive. Probably like Pody and Naitu, and just hope for the best. But I don't expect much from ends. NRG, here's a team that I actually do expect quite a bit from. I mean, they won Philadelphia against NIP. They've been in good form. Bro has been their best player so far, and he usually does perform quite well against other teams. So he's definitely an option. I think while Sotik and George are good and they do put up ratings, I think they do it against lower opposition. But when you filter out their stats for top 50, they just don't perform as great. And then you have people like Nitro and Sonic who perform just as well for a way cheaper price. So NRG, if you want to go with a bronze player, look into Nitro or even Sonic. But even Bro himself is a great option. I think NRG could actually show out in this event. For Inner Circle, I don't know much about them. Take your choice. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I know they were TNL before and they got picked up by Inner Circle, but otherwise I don't know anything else. Hatu, only know Norber. He's been putting up good ratings. However, he hasn't done it against good opposition. And, but he's been their best player by far and away. So definitely look into him if you want to save some money there. And then Fluxo as well. They have a chance. I don't really expect it from them, honestly. Lucchese left MIBR. He's come to Fluxo. He's put up good ratings. However, if you put again the top 50 filter, he's got like a 0.91 or 0.93 rating against top 50 opposition. So be careful there with those inflated ratings against lower opposition. And then Rooster, just don't pick Rooster. So for my team, I'm going to go with the double up buff. Stralis, so I'm gonna go with Stare and Device. I will also double up with, or actually, I will get Nitro as a single option, get Lake, and then finally put Tossin in there. So I think with this team, we get one basically confirmed next stage team. They could go 3-0. They have the chance to. Is it likely? I don't know. I mean, they'll probably face G2 or Furia to get there. But you never know in a best of 3 series. Tossin as well with Gamer Legion, they should make it. I'm pretty confident in their roster. So he's going to do great. Lake, M80 have looked a lot better as well. And I think Lake could perform here in this event, especially with his low value. 202 is like too low for him, and he could realistically output like a Gold player's rating with just like he might take him a little longer to qualify, like 3-1 or 3-2, but he'll definitely get there, I think, with M80. And then Nitro, Captain America, I think 181 is too cheap for him. I didn't want to go with like Norbert or Lucchese with those teams. I think NRG come into this event with good form, and with how crazy this has been with people teams dropping out, NRG always have a chance, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, this is gonna be my team. It's basically a Danish and USA roster, so fun to see there. If I had to go other options, I would maybe drop Device, and maybe actually drop Tossin, and instead of Tossin, we would go with like Swisher, and instead of Nitro, I would go with someone like Mouse. So this is another team that I like go with a little more security with Mouse from AG2, and he could farm here. Great role as well with Headshot Machine. Nitro is fine as well. If you want to spend up a little bit less on Nitro, I would say go Norver. I think Norver's better than Lucchese. I like Norver a little bit more. And then I would say maybe spend up on Swisher, spend up on Lake. I do want to get someone like Matty S. I mean, you can if you go Lucchese. You take out Matty S, and then Swisher becomes Tossin. So you can also go with this as well. There's another roster that I'm kind of thinking about, especially because they're all pretty solid value, and it'll be great differential. I mean, Lucchese is not really differential, but it's another roster to look into. But yeah, it's basically downgrading my Nitro to like someone like Casey or Norbert, and then upgrading Device up to someone else. Maybe even dropping Toss into Swisher. So there's a couple of options you can go with, but for now, this is the roster I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with a Danish, half USA squad, and hope for the best. So yeah, let me know what you think of my team. Leave your teams down below. I'll try to answer them. I think it's only less than 12 hours before the event starts. So yeah, good luck, have fun,